On Tuesday the 19th of February 2019, a new patch for Fallout 76 dropped. What I'm doing here in this video is telling you a bunch of stuff that came in that patch, because there's a lot of stuff, and I figure I'd narrow it down to the stuff that actually matters, because there's just tons. If you do want to read through it all, I will leave the full patch notes in the description, there'll be a link to it, I'll mark it, you can read through it, it's great fun, there's like dozens of bug fixes with single sentences, oh it's great. Now though, for what actually matters, the first thing you'll notice when you boot up the game now is in the top right of the opening screen, the menu screen I suppose you call it, is something telling you about a Mothman encounter rate increase up until the 25th of February. If you look at your active effects whilst in the game as well, you'll notice that, hey, extra chance for Mothman to appear. This is actually the first time one of those weekly buffs, I suppose, is actually something I kind of like. Previously we had plus 15 health for each person in your team, I believe it was. We've also had stuff like carry around junk and you get extra damage resistance, a whole bunch of stuff which I really didn't like and felt pointless. This one's actually quite nice. Higher chance to encounter the Mothman for a week. That's a weekly event I can get behind. Something else Bethesda is deciding to do a bit differently this week is give away something for free in the Atom Shop. I know, crazy right, but there's actually a free pose in there. If you go into the Atom Shop for the next 6 days, I believe it is, there'll be a pose there you can get straight for free, and it's the first thing that should pop up. Free pose. Go grab it now, you might as well. I'd really like to see more of this in the Atom Shop, would make it feel a little better to be included, as currently I'm not a huge fan of the Atom Shop, but if it suddenly starts doing deals and free stuff, I'll be a little more forgiving of it, I think. Next up is something sort of to do with the Atom Shop, but there's now player icon displays. So, when you hover over someone on the world map, you see a little icon next to their name. I did this on my server, as you'll be seeing in the footage, and everyone had the same icon, but I think that's the default one. Because icons are in the Atom Shop, and there's not much of a reason to change them. If you play as a team, you'll notice on the bottom left there's an icon next to your name, but other than that, there was never any point. Now these icons show up next to your name, apparently next to your camp and workshop stuff if someone stares at it long enough, so you might want to change your icon. I've got mine as, I believe, the Vault Boy looking at the Pit Boy? I'm not sure, I can't even remember, that's how inconsequential they've been up till now. But at least player icons now are a thing. I must admit, I'm not sure if there's a glitch at the moment which makes everyone look like they've got the same one, or if everyone just had the same one, because nobody cares about them. It's impossible for me to say. What everyone will be really excited about though is the increased stash limit. It was at 600 and now it's up to 800, which is utterly marvellous. This is good, we constantly want more stash limit. This is like something not every Fallout player has been saying, but which regularly gets brought up as something that a lot of people want, which is more of a stash limit. Personally, I'm hoping that at some point it will get raised to 1,000, but for now, I'm happy with 800. That gives me an additional 200 extra storage space that I can use for the time being. Should mean I can actually store up enough junk that I can repair weapons without having to constantly go out and forage for junk, and I can also craft some weapons and do some other bits and pieces. It's nice to have that additional space in there. There has also been a change to the Scorchbeast sonic attack. I cannot say that. I've done like 5 takes of this sentence. The Scorchbeast, they go brah brah brah. That's a sonic attack. That's now less frequent. There's apparently a 10-second timer now. So before they used to just be able to do one sonic attack and then chain it into another one and then chain it into another one, and it was an utter nightmare, especially if you were fighting against multiple Scorchbeasts. It was just constant and made the fight annoying. Even at the point I'm at, when I was in like a full suit of power armor, decked out with a good automatic weapon, I just found it frustrating, because even if they can't deal enough damage to be a proper threat to you, it just meant for constant visual weirdness and screen shaking and it was nasty. So I'm very glad to see that there's a timer in there so that they don't just spam that attack over and over and over again non-stop. Something else which is good to see is that accidental destruction damage no longer makes you wanted. I can't speak right now, I do apologise. Yeah, when previously you were able to go into someone's camp or workshop, shoot up some stuff, and potentially get a wanted level for that. Now though, you actually have to destroy stuff to get a wanted level. So no more accidental couple of shots hit someone's wall and you become wanted, now you have to properly go for it if you want to get wanted. You don't just have it happen by accident so much anymore. In the whole theme of PvP, there's also been some changes to workshops and how they can be contested. So previously, when you claim the workshop, there's a little green circle around you, and someone could step inside that to contest it and have a bit of a fight with you for it. Now they can stand anywhere in the build area of the workshop, meaning there's a higher chance that when you're claiming workshops, there'll be a fight for it, as opposed to just, oh, someone's claimed that, oh, they did it already, and nobody notices. Now people might actually fight for workshops, which is something I still have yet to see firsthand. Something that's a little tricky to talk about, I feel, is that there's going to be individual server maintenance, which means that each world basically will get worked on for a period of time, and you might have to switch worlds if you're currently in the world that needs to be worked on. What this sounds like is that they're trying to just fix and update individual servers and make sure everything's up and running perfectly, without having to shut down everything and do another big patch each and every time. Now, if this is done right, it's going to be great, because it means less patches purely for bugs, and more just focus on, oh, everything gets fixed every once in a while, everything just gets maintained, which is what maintenance should be. The disadvantage is that if it happens too often, you might be going through quests and constantly have to switch to another world, switch to another world, switch to another world. That could be a problem, but I doubt it will be that bad. Something that is definitely good though is that excavator power armor requires less springs to both craft and repair. This is big, especially for me. First time I tried to do the quest where you have to craft a suit of excavator power armor, I spent hours looking for springs. Kado gave me like all of his springs so I could craft stuff. It was a nightmare. It took a ridiculous amount of springs, and I don't think I've used the armor since then, partly for that reason. So crafting materials for that are now slightly better at least. Something else which we were all looking forward to and is going to make huge changes to the game is custom map markers now have a sound effect when you put them down. Yeah, take a listen to this. Oh yeah, that's what we all wanted, isn't it? It's a really minor thing. I mean, sure, it's added in now. It's going to make no difference to anything. In addition to all of this, there have been a whole bunch of bug fixes. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there's a stupid amount of them. If you want to know about all of them, there's a link to the full patch notes in the description. Go check it out. A whole bunch of bug fixes, all good stuff. One big thing I would like to mention is that cap containers no longer only have a single cap. I know a fair few people in my comments were like, oh, cap containers now, or cap stashes, sorry, now kind of suck. Because I've had it as well where you go up to them and there's one bottle cap in there and it's like, oh, that sucks. Now that shouldn't be the case anymore, should always be multiple caps. There's not actually a list for what the minimum is, but hell, it's at least doubled, so that's got to be good. Now, I imagine it's going to be more like what we'll normally see, where it's like 20 or 30 caps in a cap container, more likely. Something else that is also quite good, there's a lot of good stuff in this patch, even though it's all quite minor, is power armor will now use the fusion core with the least charge instead of just a random fusion core. So previously it would just pick any fusion core it came across in your inventory and just plug that into the suit. Now it goes for the one with the lowest charge, meaning you're not going to end up with a whole bunch of half used up fusion cores. Instead it actually gets rid of the ones that are used up by using the last little bit of them, which is very nice. And finally, one big change which you will want to pay attention to if you use these weapons is the M79 and the auto grenade launcher now count as heavy weapons. They get their buffs from all of the heavy weapon perks except for heavy gunner. Instead of heavy gunner, they're affected by demolition expert. So if you want extra damage with them, it's demolition expert, not heavy gunner. It does mean that anything else that would affect heavy weapons goes for those two grenade launchers. I'm trying not to get confused just saying this out. They're counted as heavy weapons now. They've had so many changes, especially the M79. That was a shotgun at some point. It's really gone through a lot, but now we're affected by demolition expert and heavy weapon perks. So that might be good, might be bad, depending on how you've got things set up. Personally, it makes no changes to me because I very rarely use them because they're heavy and their ammo is heavy. But who knows, might be a good thing. I can't really comment too much on it. And that is it for my little notes on the patch so far. There's a lot of stuff I like in there. The Mothman encounter rate is nice, something free in the item shop, and of course the stash limit up to 800 is all very, very good. All stuff I can most definitely get behind. These are just obviously highlights I'm showcasing, and as I've said multiple times, full patch notes are in the description. Also, if you want the patch notes as soon as they go up, I tend to post them in my Discord in the Fallout 76 chat channel. So join my Discord and I pop the patch notes on there straight away. Bethesda also tweet out about them on the @Fallout account, so there's that as well. There's plenty of ways to find out about them quicker if you want to know them straight away. Because obviously there's turnaround time on this video, which means it's not out the second the patch notes are. Now, I have played a little bit of this patch as well, and the only things I really notice are what I'll be showing in the video, the Mothman thing, the free pose, the player icons, and the stash limit. But overall, seems like just some good stuff. Hopefully on the next patch, which could be at the end of this month, could be next month, we'll see some actual content added, which would be very nice. Because we've had lots of patches with bug fixes and just minor updates and improvements. It would be nice if we got some extra content at this point, because I'm sure lots of us are running out of things to do that we haven't done a dozen times before. Anyway, if this video was helpful, do hit the like button. Comment below if I sound like I can talk right now, because I feel like I can't. My voice is going, Apologies if there's a lack of content in the next couple of weeks. And as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching. Sarge out.